All right, hey folks, we're going to do some game design tonight. We're working on Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition 2024. We're creating the color mana system for marshals as well as spellcasters to expand on what we've already created on the DMsGuild from 2014. With new rules are new opportunities, and as we've played with the mechanics over the past 7 years, we've found ways to improve the system. So we're going to implement that stuff. We're doing a lot of that work here on stream with you guys. So give me a moment here. I'm going to check my signal to make sure everything's coming through okay. I got some quick social media postings to do, and then we'll get to work here for a few hours. So we're converting the rogue to the mana system from 5e24, along with all the subclasses from 2014 that had been forsaken and not elevated to the 2024 status. So we'll be going through that process as well. Give me a hot second here to check my signal, make sure we're coming through clearly. Give me a hot second here to check my signal, make sure we're coming through. Yeah, it sounds pretty good. So let's go with that. I will drop down that volume so hopefully it doesn't get in the way of ourselves here. I'm going to grab that link real quick. We're going to do some social media posts. I can regale you with my origin story while I go through that process. It shouldn't take but a minute, so if you're already familiar with the channel, you can skip ahead and I'll catch up with you after the bump. But for those of you that are caught now here in space-time, let me say, hey, my name is Phil Kearney. I create role-playing games. I illustrate them. I publish them online. And we're, like I said, we're making content for 5e24 for the Rogue specifically today. I've been a DM since 1987. I've been a Magic the Gathering enthusiast since 1994. I've been a freelance illustrator in the RPG industry since 1999. And creating content on the DMsGuild for Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition since 2018 is when I published my first book, which was the color mana system. So there is a bunch of links in the description down below. I finished up all my social postings. So let me flip my screen around here and close things off by saying, if you think today's cool, I'm here 9 times per week. So you can like, subscribe, hit the bell icon for notifications of when we are live in the future. There's a bunch of books here that we've already published on DMsGuild. They all have extensive free previews. Be welcome to take a look at them. The color magic system that we have for the 2014 rules it's a bundle that's listed here. You can check that out. All the updates that we've been making for the 5e24 system is on this Google Doc, which we'll click here. Takes you to the Martial Power playtest content. I'm going to actually close that down and use this page that we've already queued up for where we're at with the Rogue, which is the Soul Knife. I'm going to pull this. I'm going to pull this window out and away from the rest of the structure so that it doesn't get in the way of production. We got this window here. I'm going to pluck this out so that we can work on the Rogue directly here. Just arranging my windows here real quick. We've got the D&D Beyond opened up here to the Soul Knife. Here's a list of powers that we have. There's 192 of them. Disciplines require 1 or more points of mana, while meta powers don't require any mana. They're kind of like cantrips. Then the meta powers include the weapon mastery system that we, as a prepared option, you can use where sensible. Like you can't grapple with like a dart, for instance. But you can nick with one, sure. Feats as powers is other. You can prepare feats. You don't have any prerequisites to do so, but you don't gain any stat bonuses either. That's strictly for the ASIs that you get at 4, 8, 10, 14, whatever. 4, 8, 12, 16, 19 there. And then finally, there's more meta power is alternate damage type. So instead of dealing, say, stabbing damage, piercing damage with a dagger, you could instead, say, do psychic damage or cold damage. Now, this allows you to alternate in different types of damage, especially like when you're fighting creatures that have immunities, resistances, or vulnerabilities. Having multiple types of damage available to you allows you to kit into, because you can change powers when you take a long rest. So you can plan towards opponents and challenges that you know are coming up in the adventure by speccing your character into powers that can utilize them. And of course, all the mana abilities are sustained powers, there's like personal self buff, persistent effects that don't require concentration, but you can only have so much of it depending on your level. Strike powers are like the 2014 Paladin Smite spells, but there's 27 of them, ranging from 1 to 4 mana. Reactions are what you would expect reactions to be, like opportunity attacks, like counter spell, shield, stuff like that. Those are reactions. We've got 22 different reactions that you can take depending on what you, enemy, or an ally can do, or is doing, that would trigger the condition. And then we have maneuvers, which can be done as actions or bonus actions that are basically like they're like spell-like effects that typically affect somebody that isn't you, but it could be something that you could do, like adding actions to your character. And then exploits modify die rolls and alter action economy, or allow you to do things that you normally wouldn't be able to do with your action economy. Like for instance, bonus attack. Make a weapon attack as a bonus action. Normally you have to have either a specific type of weapon or class feature to be able to use your bonus action for an attack, but you could just pick that up as an exploit. So whenever you make an attack and you want to do so as a bonus action, you can expend a point of mana and do so. You could learn the power. We have one of the meta power exploits that we have down here is called Efficient Power. It's a feat. It's a martial power feat that we created. Efficient Power. There you go. And Efficient Power works like it requires having a power prepared. Choose one exploit, maneuver, or reaction power that you have prepared from the discipline list above when you select this feat. When you channel that chosen power, you gain a point of mana automatically that can be expended in combination with any other mana that you would spend to channel this power. It's repeatable with each one. So like when we're looking at bonus action, it costs you 1 point of mana every time you use it. But if you were to pick up the Efficient Power feat as an additional power, you're now spending 2 power, you're preparing the power twice. Once to know it, and another time to drop the cost of it, or effectively give you a free point of mana to contribute towards it every time you use it. So that allows you to make that bonus action, that bonus attack free of charge, but you have to prepare it twice. But now it's just something you can do as a bonus action, much like you would see in a class feature. So first rank powers are built under pretty specific structures and are intentionally built so that if somebody made them free, they wouldn't be any more powerful than, say, a feat or a class feature of up to like 4th level, like a 3rd level class feature. That's effectively what these things are worth. So you can spend a point of mana, have flexibility with it, or you can prepare it twice and it basically becomes a class feature that doesn't have a cost. So that's what we're working with. Right now we're working through the Soul Knife. All subclasses, whether they're marshals or casters, get 10 bonuses. Marshals get 10 bonus powers. Spellcasters get 10 bonus spells. Like the Wild Magic Sorcerer is an exception in that they don't get 10 spells, but they get 10 meta magics instead. There's 23 in this system, so there's a lot of meta magic out there, and the sorcerer will be able to acquire 10 of them for free. A ranger or occasionally, like say a bard, gets only 5 spells instead of 10, but with no real clear guidelines why. I haven't seen anything broken about any particular class that warrants them not getting 5 spells. So for those that didn't get 5 spells, we're buffing them out to a full 10 spell list so that all classes get 23 prepared options and then 10 bonus options. So every class now has 33 things that their character can do on top of their class features by 20th level. So it's consistent across the board. Everyone has the same scope of options they can kit into each level, and everyone uses the same resource, mana, to be able to power how the like spells or powers or class features, or eventually we'll get into ancestry options that expend mana to utilize, and you can scale them up with more mana spent. So that's the idea that's attached in there. I think without any further ado, we'll just dive into the Soul Knife. We're going to see how far into the Matrix we can dive today, and I'll be back tomorrow at lunchtime, like around 2:30ish p.m. Seattle time, -8 UTC, to be on continuing what we don't finish tonight. I'll also be back Thursday night to work on more of this as well, and then Friday lunch at 2:30 p.m. Pacific time, -8 UTC as well. So I stream game design 4 nights a week, and MTG 5e Mana is what we are currently designing, so that's what we're focused. In the mornings, I stream Monday through Friday, making the art maps, creature tokens, etc. All the assets needed to complete a book. So right now we're making an adventure for Eberron in the morning, doing all the maps, the tokens, the interior page art. And once all that artwork is done, we'll be able to bundle up into a PDF and put it on the DMsGuild. And then we'll take a new book and make that our primary project and start doing artwork and assets for that in the morning while working on other game design stuff in the evening. And I think the next book that we're probably going to be working on in the mornings, we might actually be disassembling the Color Mana books and rebuilding them. I think we're at a point where we can do that. But we have the Bashing campaign system on tap. We have the Spelljammer Kaiju and Mecha War Golems. That's another supplement that we're building, as well as Spelljammer subclasses to utilize the combat and exploration mechanics that we developed last year that are on the DMsGuild, linked down below. And then we have all the Color Mana books. That's like, that'll keep us busy through next year. So stick around. We're gonna keep building stuff here. When we finish something, we just pick up the next thing and keep building. So if you think this stuff is cool, like, subscribe, bell icon, notifications, blah, blah, blah. All right, so first thing we want to do is make sure that the powers that we have are accurately titled and of the proper rank and discipline, because those things have changed since we visited Soul Knife last time. So we know that telepathic and telekinetic are feats. Those are still in effect. Psychic damage, power armor. Psychic damage is just one of those meta powers. You're dealing psychic damage, it makes sense. And power armor, sustained power 1, that is accurate still. Mind sense, I think mind sense is actually third now. Hold on, let's double check. Yeah, there we go. While sustaining this power, you can sense the location of and communicate telepathically with any creature with an intelligence score of 3, above 3, within 10 feet plus 10 feet times your max rank of power, even those on different planes of existence. You can communicate with creatures telepathically that you can sense while sustaining this power. While sustained, you have advantage on ability checks using the deception, negotiation, insight, and intimidation skill, and advantage on those rolls. In addition, when you communicate with a creature this way during your turn, you can determine if the creature has a friendly, neutral, or hostile disposition towards you and your allies. You know what? This is a word pie. Let's fix this. While sustaining this power, you can sense the location of and communicate telepathically with any creature with an intelligence score of 3 or above, or more, or higher, within 10 feet plus 10 feet times your max rank of power. So by the time we get this at third rank, we have 3 ranks of power. So that's going to be a minimum of, let's actually make that 20 feet. So it'll be 40 feet. That makes it 50 feet, and then 60, 70 feet eventually. There we go. Let's see, 20 feet plus 10 feet times, so that's 50 feet right now. It'll become 60 feet at 13. It'll become 17 at 17th level. Even those on different planes of existence. When you can communicate with creatures telepathically that can sense. That you can sense. While sustaining this power, you can sense the location and communicate telepathically with any creature with an intelligence score of 20 or higher, times even those on different planes of existence. There doesn't need to be a common language to communicate this way. 1, 2, 3. In addition, 1, 2, 3. In addition, while you communicate with a creature this way during your turn, you can determine if the creature has a friendly, neutral, or hostile disposition towards you and your allies. And you can make a hold on. In addition, while you communicate with the creature this way During your turn, you can determine if the creature has a friendly, neutral, or a hostile disposition towards you and your allies. In fact, you can save them. Has a neutral. In addition, while you communicate with a creature this way during your turn, you can determine if the creature has a friendly, neutral, or hostile disposition towards you and your allies. The target of this effect. Oh, and there we go. And while sustained, you have advantage on ability checks using the Deception, Negotiation, Insight, and Intimidate skills. On ability checks using skills, period. More coherent sentence now, period. 1, 2, 3. The target of this effect during your turn, you can, in addition, while you communicate with a creature this way, you know, if the creature has a friendly, neutral, or hostile disposition towards you and your allies. And while sustaining this, you have you have towards disposition towards you, and you have advantage on ability checks using blah 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 blah. The target of this effect can make a charisma saving throw to conceal this information. Creatures that are immune or resistant to charm effects can save with advantage. But if they fail, they are not aware that you have these benefits. Creatures that are immune. I need to word that differently. The target creatures. Let's word it like this. 1, 2, 3. Creatures can make a charisma saving throw to conceal this information. Can make a saving throw to prevent you from between of you. In addition, while you communicate with a creature this way, while you communicate with creatures this way, you can attempt to manipulate influence them. You can attempt to attain some information about them unless they succeed a charisma. Unless they information about them. Period. What was I want want to say? During your turn, you can target one creature you sense this way to make a charisma saving throw. If they fail, you know if the creature has a friendly, hostile, or neutral hostile position for you, and you have advantage on ability checks using Deception, Negotiate, Insight, and Intimidate skills. While you continue to sense their mind. Period. Creatures that are immune to charm. There. Super good telepathy. Mind sense. Bingo bango. Delusional strike. I think that still exists, right? Delusional strike? There. No, it's just 3. That's right. With all that coming to you, it's worth. Let's see. Delusional strike. I think we already named it. Befuddling strike? Dazing strike, bursting strike, intimidating strike, provoking, staggering, banishing, knockout. It's befuddling strike is what it's become. Bursting, intimidating, provoking, staggering, restraining, poisoning, dazing. There you go. Your weapon can deal psychic damage that increases damage by 1 power die per mana channeled. The target must make a Constitution saving throw. If it fails, it loses reactions. Intimidating strike is wisdom. Provoking strike is intelligence. Staggering strike is constitution. Knockout strike is constitution. So dazing should be constitution. And right, so then we have goading strike, which is intelligence. No, it automatically, you don't get a save, it just automatically works, but it's easy to get out of. And then we have second rank. Well, there is nothing that corresponds to okay, it's an intimidating strike that comes in at third. That's an intelligence save. No, that one's the wisdom. It's the provoking strike. That's the intelligence. That's right. Goading and provoking, and there you go. So intelligence, wisdom, and constitution. Those are the 3 modifiers on conditions, effects, action, economy, behavior stuff. So delusional strike becomes dazing strike. You know what? The more I think about that, the more I feel like it should be. No, dazing strike's good. Shunt is still first rank maneuver. Cloud Strider is now it's Wind Strider now. And it's a sustained power. I think it's sus 3. Yeah. While this power is sustained, you can fly using your walking speed and hover. When the power ends, you benefit from the effects of a Feather Fall spell until you occupy. When the power ends or you're knocked prone. You benefit from the effects of a Feather Fall spell until you occupy a space on solid surface or liquid that you can support. So you can get knocked out of the sky, but it ain't gonna hurt you. So it's expensive, but super useful. Wind Strider. Flicker Pounce, Maneuver 3 still stands. Cursed Brand, I believe that's also still second. Flicker Pounce 3. Cursed Brand. Cursed Brand. When you curse a creature that you can see to make saving throws against you with disadvantage. The effect ends early when the creature succeeds a save against you. So the more saves they make, the more likely they can break out of it. Cursed Brand 2. Good to go. Okay, cool. Those are all solid. So, features. I'm just going to look over the features, make sure everything registers well. We made revisions to how the Rogue chassis works 2 sessions ago. So you can check the prior, like episode 10 of this series here in the playlists, and it'll show you where we've gotten to. But since we've modified how sneak attack versus power strikes work, and the action economy that rogues gain generating mana by expending actions, we need to re-look at all the classes to make sure if there's any low-hanging fruit for us to make these subclasses bond more to the features that the rogue gets in general now. That just makes for a better design subclass. So, welcome to the mix. Anyone that's new, you can check in the description down below. Click on the playtest document and join us here in a read-along. We're on page 101 of the document that's linked down below. It's read-only for you. You can't cut and paste anything off of it, but you can freely reference it and click Control F to look for any particular terms, like the name of subclasses or something if you want to see them. And of course, like all the other books that I have published down below, once this is finished and we finish all the artwork in the morning for it, we'll publish it on DMsGuild and move on to the next book. So once we, the Rogue here right now is the last class that we need to update the subclasses for the 5e24 mechanics with the most recent rendition of the martial powers system that we're using in our playtesting right now. We're getting really, really close to having just a flat out viable product. Most of the powers that we're using right now click into place nicely. They work well. They're not overtuned, and we're seeing a lot of variety in how characters are approaching solutions to combat and exploration currently. So I'm really excited about bringing this. We've been working on it for about 18 months, and because that's how long it takes to slow cook a magic system in 5e. Without breaking the system, but more so to be able to actually make make multi-classing work better between all 14 classes. So I do not mind how long it takes. This is not my full-time job. This is a passion project that I have as a designer and as a freelance illustrator. This is just peak hobby fulfillment for me. So thanks for checking this out with me. So Psionic Powers, we've converted this before, but again, we're just making sure everything still jives. The Wellspring of Psionic Energy is expressed as your mana pool listed above. So again, mana on a short rest, 1 point per level like a monk, and then of course we can expend our action economy to generate mana during combat and during our turn. Your Psionic die is equal to your power die listed up above, which is a D6, D8, D10 at 1, 9, and 17th level. Cybolster Knack, if you fail an ability check using a skill or a tool with which you have proficiency, you can roll 1 power die per mana spent up to your max channel limit gained as a rogue. Everything is siloed by ranks. There's 5 ranks, like half casting, 1 to 5 at 1, 5, 9, 13, 17. And most of the powers most of the options that are listed for the martial characters throughout this book are keyed to how many ranks you've gained in that class. Like, for example, a really easy way to fix the crazy saving throw buff that we get from paladins is to make the bonus you get to your saving throw while within their protective aura be equal to the maximum rank of power that you've gained as a paladin. At level 17, it's a +5, just like your 20 charisma would be. But at earlier levels, at 13 it'd be a +4, at 9 it'd be a +3, at 5 it'd be a +2, and you get it at 7th level, so it'd never be less than a +2. But that scales and curves more linearly with the ratcheting up of difficulty levels that you get as your characters gain level. It actually curves with that, 2, 3, 4, and then capping at 5 at 17th. That stays more in line with the bounded accuracy curve that exists inside the 5e game engine. So as much as, wherever it makes sense, we've converted things over to how many ranks have you gained in power? First at first, 2 at 5th, 3 at 9th, etc. 17th, 5 at 17th. That's how we're scaling up, like how much you can do things, or how much mana you can put into something, or how many bonuses you get, blah blah blah. It's if we can curve it off of that, that encourages you to stay single classed. So if you like the benefits that you gain from a rogue, staying in rogue will reward you at each tier of play as you acquire a new rank of power to be able to increase your stats on everything. That's the idea anyway, and so far it's been working out really nicely. So let's see. So side bolster knack. If you fail an ability, so having said that, and we know at 3rd level we're rolling d6s on our power die. If you fail an ability check using a skill or tool with which you have proficiency, you can roll 1 power die per mana spent up to your max channel limit gained as a rogue. And at 3rd level, you've only gained 1 rank of power as a rogue. As an exploit, which means that it can be, I can use action economy to generate mana to pay for the exploit, and I can make this an efficient, because it's listed as an exploit. I can then use the, I can expend a use of my efficient power. I could expend one of my prepared powers to pick up the efficient power feat to pay for a point of mana automatically when I use this. So when I fail an ability check using a skill or tool with which I have proficient, I can roll 1 power die. Nope, I need to take that away. As a rogue, it can't be an exploit because exploits aren't tied to action economy. Otherwise, it would be a reaction or a maneuver, and it's neither one of those. It's just a trigger effect, which is how exploits are framed. But if I made this so that you would automatically gain a point of mana, it would basically mean that every time you make an ability check with something you're proficient with, you automatically add a d6, which is way overcapped. So that language cleanup is important, which is why we're doing this. And add the highest number. So you could, like, say at 9th level, you could roll 3 power dice. Each is a d8. You roll 3. Like, say I rolled a 12 on my on my hide check, and I have to roll at least a 15 to actually hide in 2024. So I automatically failed hiding, even if no one's looking at me. I am not hidden. They're just not looking. So for me to get that 12 to 15, technically a 15 is a failure because I didn't hit the 15. So that means I would then be able to spend, say at 9th level, I could spend 3 mana to generate 3 dice, or d8s, and then I would keep the best result and add it to my 12 to get that 15 or better. So there's, with 3 dice, you're most likely to get above average. I only need, like in this example, I only need to get a +3. It's highly likely I'm going to get at least a 3 when I roll 3 8-sided dice. And that's, in this instance, that's all I needed. If I have 2, it really is a crapshoot. It's either going to be it or it isn't. But with 3, the odds are very much in my favor. If I have to absolutely stick to the landing at 17th level, I could spend 5 mana to roll 5, and at 17th level would be a d10. So I could roll 5 10-sided dice, and out of those 5 10-sided dice, certainly one of them would at least be a 12. It would at least be a +3 for my 12 to be a 15. So again, depreciating return of investment on how much mana you expend to do that. But if you absolutely have to stick, it's going to stick. Psychic Whispers. When using the telepathic utterances feature of the telepathic feat, as a first rank sustained power, you can choose a number of creatures that you can see up to your channeling ability modifier. While sustained, you and the chosen creature can speak telepathically with each other up to a mile away from each other without requiring an action to do so. A creature can't use this telepathy if it can't speak any languages, and a creature can end the telepathic connection at any time without requiring an action. You and the telepath and the creature must speak a common language to understand each other. In addition, you can use temporary mana to cast Detect Thoughts, because you pick up Detect Thoughts as a 2nd level spell at 3rd level. You'd spend 2 mana to be able to cast Detect Thoughts. And here we go, we have it. So in addition, you can use temporary mana to cast Detect Thoughts there. Also at level 3, Psychic Blades, you can manifest your psionic power as a shimmering blade of psychic energy. Whenever you take the attack action or make an opportunity attack, you can manifest a psychic blade that you are proficient with from your free hand and make an attack with that blade. The magic blade is a simple melee weapon with the finesse and thrown properties. It has a normal range of 60 feet and long range of 120 feet. When you hit with an attack, it deals psychic damage equal to your power die plus your channeling ability modifier. The weapon has the Vex and Nick combat masteries and can channel strike powers with this weapon as well. So you could, let's see, hold on. Honing strikes. Oh, there you go. After you attack with the blade, you can make a melee or ranged weapon attack with a second psychic blade as a bonus action, or using the Nick property on the same turn, provided your other hand is free to create it. The damage die of the bonus attack uses one die smaller than the current power die. So if your current power die is D6, D4, D8, D6, D10, D8, D8. There you go. 120 foot throw, 60, 120. It's a really good psychic blade. Let's see, soul blades 9. And again, we're just modifying what was already presented for the soul knife in the 2024 book, but we're modifying it so that it's compliant with the mana system that we built. So psychic veil, no, soul blades. Cheers. Let's add a space here. And here. Hold on. Yeah, okay, good. Soul knife features belongs here. Soul blades. Your psychic blades are now an expression of your size suffused soul, granting you the following features: honing strikes. If you make an attack with your roll with your psychic blades and miss the target, as an exploit, you can spend mana up to your channel limit to roll an equal number of power dice and add the highest number rolled to the attack roll. Since honing strikes is being listed as an exploit, it means I can sacrifice action economy during my turn to generate mana to be able to pay for honing strikes. Potentially changing a hit into a miss. If the attack misses, you regain the mana. Not bad. As a bonus action, you manifest one of your psychic blades, expend 1 mana to throw the blade at an unoccupied space that you can see up to 60 feet away. You then teleport to that space, and the blade vanishes. Psychic veil. You can weave a veil of psychic static to mask yourself as a second rank sustained power, which means you can expend 2 mana and lock it on. You can magically become invisible, along with anything you are wearing or carrying while the psychic veil is sustained. This invisibility ends immediately when you deal damage to a creature or you force a creature to make a saving throw. So basically it's just a normal invisibility spell, but it will literally last until you finish a long rest. It'll last until you fall asleep. And there's no concentration check on it. But if you attack, you use a power to cast a spell, it ends. Rend Mind. When you hit with an attack, you can spend 3 mana to force the target to make a saving throw or be stunned for a minute. This can be used in combination with weapon mastery effects or strike powers you choose to channel when you hit. The creature can make a wisdom saving throw at the end of each of its turns to end the effect early. Let's see. When you hit with an attack, when you hit with an attack, you can expend 3 mana to force the target to make a wisdom saving throw or be stunned for 1 minute. This can be used in combination with weapon mastery effects. Period. But not strikes. Not strike powers. The creature can, when you hit with a sneak attack, I want to make it a sneak attack specifically. When you hit with a sneak attack, when you deal sneak attack damage, you can spend 3 mana to force the target to make a wisdom saving throw or be stunned for 1 minute. This can be used in combination with weapon mastery effects as detailed in the empowered sneak attack feature above. They're not strike powers. This can be used in combination with weapon mastery effects, but not strikes, but not martial strikes. As detailed in the empowered sneak attack feature in the above, the creature can make a wisdom saving throw at the end of each of its turns to end the effect early. Perfect. So again, the sneak attack. Hey, Steve. Again, the way that system works is that when a rogue gets advantage on their attack, or an ally's within 5 feet of the target you're attacking, and you're using a light weapon with the finesse property, or like a ranged weapon, you can deal sneak attack damage, which is a d6 every other level. It's at 10d6 damage at 19th level. You can do that once per round, or rather once per turn. Alternatively, if you qualify for dealing sneak attack damage, you can sacrifice the sneak attack damage and instead gain a number of mana equal to the max rank that you've gained as a rogue. So like at 17th level, when Rend Mind comes into effect, you can channel up to 5 mana. So I could deal 10d6 sneak attack damage, or I could not do 10d6 damage and instead deal 10d6 damage. Sneak attack at 17th level, sneak attack at 17th level is 9d6 damage on the sneak attack. But if I forego that damage, I can instead generate 5 points of temporary mana to spend as a strike power to deal 5d10 damage to you and have whatever one of those strike kicker effects are. However, if I decide with Rend Mind, if I choose to deal the sneak attack damage, the 9d6 and then 10d6 damage at 19, instead of using a strike power, I would expend 3 mana to potentially stun them for a minute. So there you go. That's how that works. But it's not a strike power, so it's not something that you generate mana for free to do. So you're either generating a strike power for free, or you're consciously expending 3 mana to utilize this ability. When you deal sneak attack damage, because it's going to do the 10d6 damage already, and then we're spending mana on top of it for a specific effect, which is stun for a minute that you get a save against. There you go. That's very similar to the Monk's Stunning Strike, which lasts until the end of your next turn, and you can use a weapon mastery with it. So even if they succeed the saving throw, if you like say use Topple, they might succeed the saving throw, but they could also get tripped. So, or they could get slowed for a round, or they could lose their opportunity attack, whatever mastery you want to use. So that's how the Soul Blade works now. So let's go on to the Thief. Again, we'll check our list of powers on the Thief to make sure that they're all legit. Skulker, yes. Trap Springer, first rank sustained power, that should still be good. When this power is sustained, you can search as a bonus action and gain advantage on any intelligence investigation and wisdom perception checks to notice traps. You automatically understand the general nature of any traps revealed this way, and you gain advantage on intelligence or dexterity checks using tools you're proficient with to disarm the trap. There you go. So 1 mana Trap Springer. Crouching Stance, also first rank. Crouching Stance. This again would tie up 1 point of mana. When you sustain this power, you gain the following abilities. You can crawl and stand from prone without requiring additional movement if your movement isn't 0. Attacks rolled made against you while prone by creatures within 5 feet of you don't have advantage against you. Attack rolls that you make while prone don't have disadvantage, and you have advantage on dexterity stealth checks while prone. So you can move at full speed while you're prone, and if you do, you have advantages on dexterity, stealth checks. No one has advantages to hit you. You don't have disadvantage, so it benefits you to be able to just crawl around ninja style on all fours all the time. And well, there you go. That's the idea that goes on behind that. So it's a sustained power for 1 mana. Very fiefly. I approve this message. Instant skill is also a first rank sustained power. While sustaining this power, you become proficient in 1 skill or tool of your choice. Alternatively, if you are already proficient in the chosen skill or tool, you instead become expertise. You can sustain this power multiple times, choosing a different skill or tool with each use, or gain expertise in the skill or tool already chosen with. So I could choose the same power twice, like stealth, and then I can choose it again to become an expert with stealth. And that would tie up 2 mana, and at 5th level, I can only have 2 mana sustained this way. So it'll add up. You could lock down all 5 ranks of power at 17th level just by picking up a kit of skills that you need right now. Super useful, but again, it requires your resources and foresight to select those as prepared options. Precise attack, exploit 2. Resilient save, exploit 3. Just verify that's still true. It's been a while since we've come in and revised these, so this is we're doing basically some maintenance work right now during the playtesting as it continues. Resilient save, when you make a saving throw to reduce damage, if the save succeeds, you take no damage, or half if you fail. You decide to channel this power after you rolled the save, but before you know if you succeeded. So basically, it's evasion for all types of saving throws, which is good because it's expensive as hell. 3 mana, that's a lot. Precise attack, 2nd rank. Precise attack, when you make an attack against a target with less than full cover, you can ignore the benefits of cover and roll a number of power dice equal to the amount of mana spent this way, adding the highest roll to your attack result. So at 5th level, it would be, you have to be at least 5th level to do this. It would cost you 2 mana to do it, so you'd roll 2 d6s, keep the higher the 2 d6s, add it to your attack roll, and ignore all cover. Bam, there you go, bingo bango. Precise attack. Auto attunement, sustain 2, and subtle channeling, exploit 1. Subtle channeling is when you channel a power, there's no visual evidence that you are the source. Normally when you use power, because there are no material, verbal, or somatic components to be able to trigger powers, there has to be some sort of a tell. So your character just radiates magical energy while they're utilizing power in some way. And so that becomes an obvious visual tell. Hey, that guy's using magic of some sort, and now we can all be cautious about you. But subtle channeling allows you to not radiate any magic effects, though you would then be able to offload the magic effects that you hit somebody with, basically offloading those visual tells to that creature instead of off of you. So that's a way for you to pass the buck. And since it's first rank in an exploit, you could learn efficient power to make it free to use, so that you're always sustaining. You're always able to use subtle channeling. It's never visible unless you choose for it to be. Then it becomes your choice. Auto attunement, sustain 2. Let's verify it's still there. Auto attunement. While sustaining this power as an object interaction, you can choose to attune as a utilize action, which can be combined with something else that you're doing. As a utilize action, you can choose to attune to a magic item while sustaining this power. You can choose to attune to any magic item you're wearing or holding that you meet the prerequisites for, up to your maximum number of attuned items. When you choose a new item, you can choose to end attunement on another item as part of the interaction. If you are, let's see, empowerment item. If you are already attuned to the maximum number allowed. If an item you attune to this way is cursed, you remain attuned and cursed even if you dismiss this power. So auto attunement, A-OK, subtle channeling, confirmed. Okay, so those are the class fee. Those are the bonus powers that the thief gets. Fast hands. As a bonus action, you can do one of the following. Sleight of hands. Make a dexterity sleight of hand check to pick a lock or disarm a trap with the thieves' tools. Or to pick a lock. Use an object. You can take the utility action or make the magic action to use a magic item that requires that action. Let's see. You can use a bonus action to take the magic utilize or magic action utilize or magic action. Enough said. Second story work. You've trained to navigate difficult spaces, granting you the following features. Climber, you gain climb speed equal to your speed. Jumper, you can determine your jump distance using your dexterity rather than your strength, and you can increase the distance jumped by a number of feet equal to the result of rolling one power die per mana. And you can increase the distance you jump by per mana expended up to the max rank gained as a rogue. And again, there's that power language coming in, binding how high you can ramp something. Fighting dehydration is important. Water is the ultimate weapon. Supreme Sneak. If taking the hide action grants you the invisibility condition, you have cover after making the attack. You remain. If you have cover after making an attack, you remain invisible. Not bad. UMD. You've made using magic items an integral part of your craft, granting you the following features. Attunement. You can attune to a number of magic items equal to your proficiency bonus. Level 13. Number of magic items equal to 1 plus the max rank power gained as a rogue. Literally the same wording, but is keyed specifically to being a rogue. Charges. When you use a magic item property that expends charges, roll a power die. If the result is equal to or higher than the charge number on the table below, you use the property without expending any charges. Item rarity. Common, uncommon, rare, very rare, legendary. Charge target number. It's a 2 for common, 4 for uncommon, 6 for rare, 8 for very rare, and 10 for legendary. At 3rd level, you have a D6 power die. At 9th level, you have a D8, and at 17th level, you have a D10. So it becomes more and more reasonable to have items that you don't expend charges for if they're a lower rarity as you gain higher level. Scrolls. You can use any spell scroll using your channeling ability for casting the spell. If the spell is a cantrip or a level 1 spell, you can cast it reliably. If the scroll contains a higher level spell, you must first succeed on an Intelligence Arcana check, DC 10 plus the spell's level. On a successful check, you can cast the spell from the scroll. On a failed check, the scroll disintegrates. Fair enough, because we have the failure clause. No, that was the soul blade that had the failure clause. But we have skillful, which is Arcana is a skill, so we can add power dice and advantage to that roll if we sustain the power. Thieves' Reflexes. You are adept at laying ambushes and quickly escaping danger. You can take 2 turns during the first round of any combat. You take your first turn at the normal initiative and your second turn at initiative -10. Not bad. Fun stuff. 1, 2, 3, 4. Cool. So now we're going to go down into the Forsaken Rogue archetypes. So let's jump into PHB here. Let's kick on back to the class lists. Let's drop down into 2014 and keep this going. Rogue. How are we looking here? Inquisitive, Mastermind. Phantom has been updated in UA. We'll look at that. Scout. Swashbuckler. And then there's the Scion of the 3, which we have not converted yet. One, two, three. Scion of the 3. There we go. And we'll get to it. But we will. Let's see where we're at right now. Inquisitive. What time is it? Jeez, 6:45. Okay, we're doing good. 6 of these left. That one took an hour. So that means we need probably 3 more hours for us to finish. It's possible. Between today and tomorrow, we can get it done. So let's keep it up. Inquisitive. Let's punch through these things and see how we turn out. If you got any questions, you're welcome to ask. Keen Mind. Let's go back to our Keen Mind is a feat, instant skill we just looked at. Omnilinguist should be sustained 1. Yeah, there it is. Was. There. There. Omnilinguist reads, while sustaining this power, you can communicate with or be understood by any creature with a spoken language that you can see, and you can read any non-magical text. Blinding Strike is still second rank, makes somebody blind. Countering Attack is still a second rank reaction. Trap Springer we just looked at. Blind Sense is first. Cursed Brand we just looked at. Anchor we know is third from previously. And Mind Sense we just looked at. Sus 2. So those are all good. See, we're building momentum here. We're going to get these things done. Ear for Deceit, love it. When you choose this archetype at 3rd level, you develop a talent for picking out lies. Whenever you make a Wisdom Insight check to determine whether a creature is lying, treat a roll of 7 or lower on a d20 as an 8. Eye for Detail. You can use a bonus action to make a Wisdom Perception check to spot a hidden creature or object, or make an Intelligence Investigation check to uncover or decipher clues. Neat. Insightful Fighting. As a bonus action, you can make a Wisdom Insight check against a creature you can see that isn't incapacitated, contested by the target's Charisma Deception check. If you succeed, you can use your sneak attack against that target, even if you don't have advantage on the attack roll, but not if you have disadvantage on it. This benefit lasts for 1 minute or until you successfully use this feature again against a different target. As a bonus action, you can make a Wisdom Insight check against a creature's, it should be a creature's intelligence score. As a bonus action, you can make against the intelligence score of a creature within 30 feet that isn't incapacitated. If you succeed, you can use your sneak attack against the target, even if you don't have disadvantage. This benefit lasts for 1 minute or until you successfully use this feature against a different target. There you go. Steady Eye. You have advantage on any wisdom, perception, or intelligence investigation checks you make if you move no more than half your speed on the same turn. Looks like I fell asleep there for a second, so sorry. As an action, let's see, Unerring Eye. Unerring Eye. As an action, you sense the presence of illusions, shape changers not in their original form, or other magic designed to deceive the senses within 30 feet of you, provided you aren't blinded or deafened. You sense that an effect is attempting to trick you, but you gain no insight into what is hidden into its true nature. You can use this feature a number of times equal to your wisdom modifier, and you regain all expended uses when you finish a long rest. Equal to the max rank of power you gained as a rogue and you regain all finished uses, when you finish the long rest. Alternatively, you can expend 2 mana to use this power again. No action required to use this power again. Eye for weakness. While your insightful fighting feature applies to a creature, your sneak attack damage against that creature increases by 3d6. Holy shit, that's really good. Eye for weakness. While you're insightful fighting. As a bonus action, you can make a wisdom subtract. You can use your sneak attack. Sneak attack damage increases by 3d6, which you can sacrifice for free mana. Cool. Okay, so that one's good. Going to a little bit of modifications, but overall everything still jives. Features, Mastermind. Keen Mind, yes. Instant Skill, yes. Telepathy, yes. Omnilinguist, yes, we know this already. Cooperative Efforts. And Mind Sense we know is 3 now. Curse of the Cloud Mind we just saw was 2. Opportunist is 2. Fate Spinner is questionable. That's reaction 3. And I need to check on Cooperative Effort. Fate Spinner, does that still exist? Jesus, it's been a while. Oh, wow. As a reaction to when you or a creature you can see makes an ability check, attack roll, or saving throw, you can alter fate by rolling a number of power dice equal to the mana spent. You can choose to either increase or decrease the result by the highest power die roll. 3 mana, 3 dice, d8s, up or down, +8. Master of Fate, and then we're going to look at Cooperative Effort, Exploit 1. Cooperative Effort. When you are using the help action to grant advantage to the ability check or attack of an ally within 60 feet of you, roll 1 power die per mana channeled, adding the highest result to the ally's die roll. This is on top of giving them advantage. So you're spending mana to give them more. More, give me more, give me more. And those are good. So, next up, Master of Intrigue. You gain proficiency with the Disguise skill, Forgery skill, and 1 gaming set of your choice. You also learn 2 languages of your choice. Additionally, You can unerringly mimic the speech patterns and accents of a creature that you hear speak for at least 1 minute, enabling you to pass yourself off as a native speaker of a particular land, provided that you know the language. Master of Tactics. 3rd level, you can use the help action as a bonus action. Additionally, when you use the help action to aid an ally in attacking a creature, the target of that attack can be within 30 feet of you rather than 5 feet within you if the target can see or hear you. Good. 9, Insightful Manipulator. If you spend 1 minute observing or interacting with another creature outside combat, you can gain insight into its capabilities and combat prowess. You learn 2 of the following pieces of information about the target. You can also learn more by burning 1 mana by expending 1 mana for each additional piece of information. There. Characteristics. There's 8. Ability bonus, pick 1. Saving throw, pick 1. If it can cast spells, channel powers, and the maximum rank of power that it has. If it can use any special movement types, what its armor classes, what its current hit points are. If it has any resistances, weaknesses, immunities, I don't know what kind of item, and a piece of the creature's history. Or 1 of its personality traits if it has any. In addition, while in combat as an exploit, you can expend 1 mana. As a maneuver, to learn 1 piece of information per mana expended. In addition, while in combat as a maneuver, you can expend while in combat as a maneuver, you can learn 1 piece of information per mana expended up to your max rank gained as a rogue. So as a maneuver, which is an action or a bonus action twice in the same turn if I wanted to, I could expend, well, let's see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, there's 8 different things. So at 13th level, I can expend 4 mana as an action to learn these 4 things, and then I can spend another 4 mana as a bonus action to learn the other 4 things, and learn everything about that creature right up front. Not bad. Misdirection. When you are targeted by an attack while a creature within 5 feet of you is granting you cover against that attack, you can use your reaction to have the attack target that creature instead of you. I love that. Because having a creature between you and an attack now causes disadvantage to that attacker. Soul of Deceit. Your thoughts can't be read by telepathy or any other means, unless you allow it. You can present false thoughts by succeeding a charisma deception check, contested by check against the mind reader's intelligence. Score. And additionally, no matter what you say, magic that would determine if you are telling the truth indicates that you are being truthful if you so choose, and you can't be compelled to tell the truth by magic. Not bad. All right, that one's done. So let's move on to the Phantom. Phantom is in the Unearthed Arcana. Subclasses Artificer, Ranger, let's see. Bard, Rogue, Phantom, there it is. Phantom. Subclass features Vanish. Is that a second rank maneuver now? Oh no, yeah, no, it's an exploit now. It's a first rank exploit now. EXP. Breath of Life is first rank exploit. Necrotic damage. Life Stealing Strike is strike 2 now. Precise Attack exploit 2. Curse of the Fallen Puppet reaction 2. Roll for the Hit reaction 2. Saving Grace reaction 2. Anchor reaction 3. Red Revival reaction 4. A lot of reactions coming off the Phantom. Oh, we did this one recently, so it should be fine, but still, Wails from the Grave. When you deal sneak attack damage to a creature during your turn, you can immediately target another creature you can see up within 30 feet of you. Roll half the number of sneak attack dice round up. The second creature takes this amount of necrotic damage. You can use this feature a number of times equal to your channeling ability modifier. Regain all uses when you finish a long rest, and you can regain 1 use when you expend 2 mana action number required. You can use this feature a number of times equal to the max rank of power gained as a rogue, comma, which is going to be 1 because level 3. Regain all uses when you finish a long rest, and you can regain 1 use when you expend 2 mana. Whispers of the Dead. When you finish a short rest, you can choose a skill or tool proficiency you lack and gain it until you choose a new skill or tool proficiency this way. Okay. Tokens of the Departed, level 9. When you finish a long rest, you gain 2 soul trinkets, which are tiny. If you're more than 30 feet away, they lose them. The number of trinkets you gain increases to 3 at 13, 4 at 17. Whenever a creature within 30 feet of you die, you can use a reaction to regain 1 expended trinket. You can use the trinkets in the following ways. Death Now. When you use Wails from the Grave, you can sacrifice a trinket instead and expanding a use of that feature. Life Essence. While you have at least 1 trinket, you have advantage on death saving throws and constitution saving throws. Spirit Query. As a magic action, you can sacrifice a trinket to cast the Augury spell without expending any mana, or using any material components. Using your channeling ability modifier to do so. As a magic action, you can sacrifice a trinket. Oh, sacrifice a trinket. Okay. Cool. That works. Also, Voice of Death. You can cast Speak with Dead without expending mana or using any material components, using your channeling ability modifier when you do so. You regain this feature when you finish a short or long rest. You can use it again by expending 2 mana. No action required. Ghost Walk. As a bonus action, you can assume an incorporeal form for 10 minutes, gain the following benefits. While active, you can use this feature once, regain it when you finish long rest, or by expending a soul trinket. Benefits. Flight. You gain a... Wait. When you finish a short or long rest, or by sacrificing... expending a soul trinket. Flight. Flight speed 10 feet. You can hover. Hazy forms. Attack have disadvantage against you. Incorporeal movement. You can move through unoccupied spaces. Difficult terrain. If you end your turn in such a space, you take 1d10 force damage and are forced out of the object, returning to a space you previously occupied this turn, period. And Death Friend. Again, the following benefits. Death Lament. When you use Wails from the Grave from above, you can deal the secondary necrotic damage to both the first and second creatures affected by this. Draw of Death. When you roll initiative, you have no more soul trinkets, you gain 1. There you go. Okay, cool. Sign of 3, Scout, Swashbuckler. Really? 3? 7 o'clock? We just got through 2 of them in 15 minutes. That's not bad, my guys. I'm gonna refill my water. We're gonna come back. We're gonna do the swashbuckler, and then we're gonna do the scout, and then we'll finish the session with Scion of the 3. And then when we come back tomorrow at lunch, we're gonna start working on Strixhaven rules. I'm very much looking forward to that. All right, BRB, guys. Okay, we've got a fresh mug of water. Let's get after it. Swashbuckler. Something tells me that there's some of these subclasses from the 2 most recent UAs we have not converted. No, that one's there, that one's there, that one's there, that one's there, that one's there. We'll see. I think these are all still there. And over here, maybe I'm gonna check in on these. If we need to convert some of these, we'll do that tomorrow. Otherwise, it's Strixhaven. But for now, go to the rogue. I'm gonna go to the swashbuckler. Okay, cool. Let's get after it. Defensive duelist feat. Okay, dire impact is gone. We have to replace that with something. Tripping strike still exists. Disarming strike still exists. Empowered ability still exists. Instant skill still exists. Countering attack still exists. Double strike still exists. Efficient power for double strike is possible. First strike for exploit 3 is still good. What do we want to do? Defensive duelist, swashbuckler stuff. How about swashbuckler stuff? Oh, bonus attack. I bet that makes sense. Okay, cool. So let's see. Fantasy footwork. You learn how to land a strike and then slip away without reprisal during your turn. If you make a melee attack against a creature, that creature can't make opportunity attacks against you for the rest of the turn. Nice. Rakish Audacity. You can give yourself a bonus to your initiative rolls equal to your charisma modifier. Equal to your channeling ability modifier. Because it could be Dex, Intelligence, or Charisma, up to you. In addition, you also gain an additional way to use your sneak attack. You don't need advantage on an attack roll to use your sneak attack against a creature if you're within 5 feet of it. No other creatures are within 5 feet of you, and you don't have a disadvantage. All other use rules for sneak attack still apply to you. Okay, so as long as you're the only one engaging with them within 5 feet, you don't and you don't have disadvantage, you're good to go. Panache. As an action, you can make a charisma persuasion check contested by a creature's wisdom score. Against a creature's Wisdom score. Scoper. Creatures must be able to hear you, and the two of you must share language. If you succeed on your check, and the creature is hostile to you, it has disadvantages on attack rolls against targets other than you, and can't make opportunity attacks against targets other than you, which you could use your fancy footwork that when you make a melee attack against you, they can't even make opportunity attacks. So that's a good combo. This effect lasts for 1 minute until one of the companion attacks the target or affects it with a spell, or until you and the target are more than 60 feet apart. If you succeed on the check and the creature isn't hostile to you, it is charmed by you by 1 minute. While charmed, it regards you as a friendly acquaintance. This effect ends immediately if you or your companions do anything harmful to it. 13, Elegant Maneuver. You can use a bonus action on your turn to gain advantage on the next Dexterity, Acrobatics, or Strength Athletics check you make during the same turn. Okay. Huh. Okay, and Master Duelist. If you miss with an attack roll, you can roll it again with advantage. Once you do so, you can't use this feature again until you finish a short or long rest. Period. You can regain 1 use by expending 2 mana. No action required. A reroll is worth 2 mana. All right, so that's the Swashbuckler. So let's go to the Scout, and after we do the Scout, we'll do the Scion of the 3, and then we'll be done. So Scout, Alert, that's good. Keen Mind, that's good. Fast still exists. Reposition exists. Crouching Stance still exists. Trap Spring, we just saw it. Vanish is an exploit now. And again, if you want to check this, you can check in the link down below in the description for the playtest doc. It's read-only for you. We're currently down on page 108. Vanish, exploit 1. Cliff Runner, sustained 1. Unstoppable, exploit 4. That's accurate. Flicker Pounce, yeah, these are all good. Cool. So Skirmisher, starting at 3rd level, when you are difficult to pin down during a fight, you can move up to half your speed. As a reaction, when an enemy ends its turn within 5 feet of you. Reposition. We're going to switch that to Repositioning Strike. This is Repositioning Strike is you can move 5 feet without provoking an opportunity attack for each point of mana you spend when you hit somebody with a power strike. So at 17th level, you dump 5 mana into hitting somebody, and you can move 25 feet without provoking an opportunity attack. That's 5 mana. So I mean, you know, compared to Steel Wind Strike, it's not that crazy. Skirmisher. Yeah, we just did that. Survivalist. When you choose this archetype at 3rd level, you gain proficiency in the nature and survival skills if you don't already have it. The proficiency bonus is doubled for any ability check you make that uses either of those proficiencies. Your proficiency bonus is doubled. Which means you can stack expertise on top of it because it's specifically not expertise. It's letting you double stack expertise. That's nice. Superior mobility. Your walking speed increases by 10 feet. If you have climbing or swimming speed, this applies as well. And you gain a climbing or swimming speed equal to your speed. So your speed increases by 10, and you get climbing and swimming, which is appropriate because that's about like when roving comes in for a ranger, for instance. Ambush Master, you have advantage on initiative rolls. In addition, the first creature you hit during the first round of combat becomes easier for you and others to strike. Attack rolls against that target have advantage until the start of your next turn. And then finally, Sudden Strike. You can strike with deadly speed. If you take the attack action on your turn, you can make one additional attack as a bonus action. This attack can benefit from your sneak attack even if you have already used it this turn, but you can't use your sneak attack against the same target more than once in a turn. You can strike with deadly speed. If you take the attack action on your turn, you can make one additional attack as a bonus action. Sudden Strike. You can make 2 sneak attacks each turn, targeting different creatures with each effect. You can make 2 sneak attacks during your turn, targeting different creatures with each. That's much more elegant. Because now it's up to you to generate the extra attack, which you can get from bonus attack. It's easy enough to generate, but you can also get it from Nick. Nick gives you that second attack. So you can get 2 attacks, it just has to be against different targets. Okay, so that finished the scout. That was easy peasy. Where are we at? Holy shit, this is gonna be a short session today. We can probably go through and look at some of the subclasses. Okay, looking at the Scion. Let's grab some stuff here real quick. We're just gonna do some copy pasta. Yeah, Scion 3 just flat ain't in here. So let's get rid of these. We're gonna build the Scion from the ground up, and then what we do is when we're building subclasses from scratch, or when we rebuild a subclass, we'll build the features first, and given what the features are, we'll add in. We'll figure out what our list of powers can be. Like if a feature implies you're using a power, we'll give you that power before we're at that level. And then we'll modify the power based on your class feature. That's making your list of powers work with your class features. I just think it's more elegant design that way. I mean, your opinion may vary, but we'll see. 3rd level, I don't know what it's called yet. So we'll delete that. And we want a level 9 feature. And we want what, 17? Okay, let's figure out what the Scion's got going on. Scion of the 3, there it is. Let's go down. There it is, Scion of 3, becoming a gruesome agent of malice. Scion of 3, blah blah blah. 3, blah blah blah. Bloodthirst. Okay, this is the start. Bloodthirst. Dread Alliance. yet. Dread Allegiance. Next, 9 is Strike Fear. Aura of Malevolence. God, this guy's got Rakdos vibes like no one's business, man. Let's see. Yeah. Where are we at? We're working on the Sign of the Three. That's right. Dread Alliance and Dread Incarnate. Thank you. Dread Incarnate. Welcome to the mix, folks that are here. Glad to have you. Again, the playtest document is down in the description down below. You can peel it open and give it a look. Let's see how, and then we'll figure out, like for here, we're probably gonna have like Wave of Terror, for instance. Maneuver 3. Probably something like that. We'll find out. Bloodlust. Let's crack open a notepad so we can copy pasta. If your sneak attack hits a bloodied creature, the target, bloodied in 5e24 means at half hit points or less. If your sneak attack hits a bloodied creature, the target takes extra damage of the weapon's type equal to half your rogue level rounded up. In addition, when an enemy you can see if you deal sneak attack damage as opposed to a strike to a bloodied creature, damage. In addition, when an enemy you can see is reduced to 0 hit points, you can take a reaction and teleport to an unoccupied space that you can see within 30 feet of yourself. You can then make one melee attack. You can use this reaction a number of times. Well, that's Flicker Pounce, dude. You can use this reaction a number of times equal to your intelligence modifier once and regain all expanded uses when you finish a short rest. You can use this reaction a number of times equal to your the max rank of power gained as a rogue, comma. You gain all uses when you finish a long rest, or comma, and you can regain one use by expending 2 mana, no action required. Period. Jeez, a 30-foot teleport at first level. That's crazy good. Okay. I mean, that is what that is, ain't it? Dread Allegiance. Let's see where this takes us. Dread Allegiance. Choose one of the damned. Well, that's cool. Okay. Oh, I get it. Now I get it. Eh. Psychic, poison, necrotic, cantrip, minor illusion, blade ward. Chill touch. There we go. Hey guys, how is everyone doing? Glad to have you around. You gain resistance to one type of damage and the ability to cast a cantrip as detailed in the Tale of Love and tells you to spell casting ability from the finish the rest you can change your choice. Oh, let's see. Your channeling ability modifier is your spell casting ability for this cantrip period. There. Okay, that makes sense so far. Dread Strike Fear. Let's see what this does. I bet it's a strike effect. You gain the following Cunning Strike option. Terrify. The target must succeed a Wisdom saving throw. Frighten 1 minute. Frighten 1 repeats the save at the end of his turn. Success. And, oh, that's all you get. Let's see. That's it. Hold on real quick. Let's go look at our list of powers. Thank you, Timely Timer. We want Intimidating Strike. Yeah, Intimidating Strike. There you go. Intimidating Strike is 3rd rank, comes in here. Intimidating Strike. Wave of Terror, Maneuver 3. Wave of Terror is a 3rd rank maneuver, right? We're going to modify this. Wave of Terror. That's 4th rank. Let's bring it in way up here. Okay, so this is how this is going to work. Intimidating Strike allows us to frighten people. Wave of Terror allows us to frighten people. So when people are frightened, we get to do something against you. So this is what we're going to do. Instead of using the ability as listed, which is just sacrifice D6, something becomes scared of you, which is Cunning Strikes, which is a decent system if you don't know about the powers. Powers are superior, obviously. Strike Fear. When Let's see. When you channel Intimidating Strike, your power die increases one size up to a max of D12. So at 9th level it would be a D8 that you deal. Like if you're going to use Intimidating Strike, say spend 3 mana to deal an extra 3d8 damage with the strike power, but with Intimidating Strike it's going to be 3d10 instead of 3d8. Doesn't sound like a lot, but there's a kicker effect. Period. In addition, whenever you have advantage on attacks against creatures with the frightened condition. I don't think that's normally true. I'll change it to something else if it proves to be true, but I do not believe you had advantage on attacks normally. So let's look at frightened. Check out the frightening condition for 5e24. I do not think you get advantage on attacks against them, but we'll find. They have disadvantage on attacks against you. Condition. Frightened. While you have the frightened condition, you experience the following effects. Ability checks and attacks affected. You have disadvantage on ability checks and attack rolls while the source of fear is within line of sight. And you can't willingly move closer to the source of fear. So that's what you got going on while somebody is frightened. But when you have frightened them, you have advantage on attacks against creatures with the frightened conditions. And if you use the Intimidating Strike, not only do you have advantage to be able to trigger sneak attack to get a free use of Intimidating Strike, that will be doing D12s instead of D10s. So at 17th level, instead of doing 5d10 damage plus frightening them, you would be dealing 5d12 damage, as well as perpetuating the fear that they're facing, giving you advantage against them on future upcoming attacks as well. Perhaps stacking yourself up with a bunch of reactions to be able to trigger off of stuff. That'd be a good use. Aura of Malevolence. Let's see what that does. This is great. I love this. You radiate malign power. I'm going to copy this. Paste. Cut. Paste. You radiate malignant power associated with one of the dead 3 at the start of each of your turns. Each creature of your choice within a 10-foot emanation originating from you takes damage equal to your intelligence modifier minimum 1. Damage type is the same type as the damage resistance gained by your choice of the Dread Allegiance feature. Damage dealt by this aura ignores resistance. The aura is inactive while you have the incapacitated condition. There you go. Not bad. Equal to max rank of power gained as a rogue. The max rank of power gained as a rogue. There. So it'll be 4 damage at 13, 5 damage at 17. There you go. Not big difference, but it's keyed. And it keeps you in the multi-class. 17, Dread Incarnate. Oh boy, let's see what we got going on here. Battle Tyrant. Murderous Intent. Fuck you. Battle Tyrant. You have advantage on attack rolls against any creature with a frightened condition. That's really funny because we have Strike Fear. You channel Intimidating Strike. Your power increases. Dire increases by one size of 12. In addition, you have advantage on it. Oh, and yeah, you have advantage on attack rolls against creatures with a frightened condition. Jeez, McCrow. Murderous Intent. When you roll for sneak attack damage, you can treat a roll of 1 or 2 on the die roll as a 3. Well, clearly they think like I do. Just not as quickly. Dread Incarnate. Creatures that are frightened of you save against the effect or to end it with disadvantage. Period. And you can expend. Now let's just do it like that. That's nice and simple. Murderous Intent, that's cool. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. There we go. Cheers. Hey, cool, we did it. The rogue is done. Long live the rogue. So that's set. Let's where I finished earlier than expected. It's currently 7:30 here in Seattle. I'm going to take another few minutes and let's go take a look at the rest of the subclasses that are here in the Forgotten Realms subclass. That's a lot. Let's go to let's look here instead. Bard, College of Spirits. So let's scroll down to the Bard. This is on, for those that are reading along in the document down below, page 147. Again, this is in the description of the video, so you can check it out. So we're going to College of Spirits, Dance. College of Spirits. I know we did the Reanimator. We just did that a few weeks ago, so that's good to go still. Oh yeah, we did this already. Mystical Connection. Over the Spirits of Death. Whenever you roll, choose a result instead of rolling. Yep. Okay, we did that. Let's go to Grave Domain. I think we did all of these, but we're just gonna verify real quick. Subclasses: Life, Light, Trickery, War, Grave Domain. Check it out. Bane, Chill Touch, Detect Evil. Oh yeah, because this has got the 1, 2, 3. This should be fine. Let's check 17 Path to the Grave as a bonus act. Oh yeah, because this has got the. Let's go to. Divine Reaper 17. Necromancy, Keeper of Souls. Yeah, okay, this is updated already. We just did the Hollow Warden like 3 weeks ago. We saw that already. We just did the Phantom, like literally, just did it. Shadow Sorcery. Let's go down to the Sorcerer. Past the Druid. on, represent. Shadow Druid, Shadow Sorcerer. That's what I mean. Draconic, Wild, Divine, Lunar, Shadow. Bane, Dark, Inflict, Pass. Bane, Dark, Inflict, Pass. Level 14, no, level 18 Umbral Form. Cool, that one's done. Warlock, Hexblade. I know for a fact we just did that like 6 weeks ago. So that one's good to go. Undead Patron, I'm pretty sure we resolved that one already. Well, let's go back up and take a look. Druid. Bard. Boy. Paladin. Here's Ranger. Rogue. What are we looking at? It's Undead, that's right. Undead Patron. Invocations, let's get to one of those. Fiend. Fathomless, sure. Genie, you betcha. Hexblade, you know it. Undead Patron, there we go. Cool. Form of Dread. And Superior Dread. Okay, cool. So we did all of this. This one is officially done. Blip. And then back up into here. Oh man, yeah, we haven't done the Spellfire Sorcerer. We just did the Winter Walker. We just did the Scion of the Three. Paladin Oath of the Noble Genies. College of the Moon. Blade Singer. We haven't done any of these. Okay, so you know what? I'm feeling like I've been on for 2 hours, and that this is a decent spot for us to stop. So I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna pick up. Sorry to bail, guys, but I'm gonna pick up tomorrow and continue with this. We're gonna work through the UA subclasses from Forgotten Realms. So that's gonna be fun. We've already done the Scion, and we already did the Scion of 3. We already did the Winter Walker. So we'll tackle Spellfire Sorcerer, Blade Singer. Is that true? Did we not do those? Hold on. I'm gonna double check. Just to make sure. What are we looking at? Spellfire. Because on World War III, they called me Spellfire. Shadow. Yep, it's not in here. Cool. But what about the Wizard? Wizard is Blade Singer. I don't know why they're not in order, but whatever. There's our basic traditions, and then we move into the Forsaken subclasses, Order of the Scribes, traditions of war magic. We got some work to do. Up, tradition of blade singing. There it is. Shield, blur, magic. I know for a fact we haven't touched Bard yet. Spellfire, have not done. Blade Song. Training in War and Song. What? Wait a second. This guy doesn't get bonus spells? Crazy. Huh. Yeah, we're gonna start with Blades. We're gonna start with the Wizard, and then we'll do. We're gonna do this tomorrow at lunch. We're going to work through backwards forwards. We're gonna do the Blade Singer first, then we'll do Spellfire, and then we'll do Oath of the Noble Genies. Then we'll do College of the Moon. We'll check in on PDK and Knowledge Domain. So that will take us probably all of lunch today, tomorrow, as well as maybe a portion of Thursday night. I suspect we'll be done with this on Thursday night with time to spare. So then we'll start in on Strixhaven on Thursday and continue with it on Friday. Probably finish up Rudimentary Rules on Monday. Then we'll start in on Theros, God Piety for each individual of the 15 gods. That should all suss out. So that's it for now, guys. Now I'm gonna bail. Thanks a lot for checking this stuff out. Again, I'm here Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays doing game design like this. In the evenings on Mondays and Thursdays, and at lunch on Tuesdays and Fridays, and then Monday through Friday in the morning, I'm doing artwork for the next book that we publish, whatever is next. Currently, what's next is the Eberron adventure that I've been working on. Once that publishes, these martial power rules, the color mana system in general, will become my primary project for me to rebuild and then re-art on stream. And then while that's going on the back row, in the evening, we'll be continuing to work on. Maybe we'll continue working on Spelljammer, and then off camera, we'll be working on fleshing out the text for the Bashing campaign. So, oh man, stuff is just gonna spiral for us, guys. I am so excited. All right, that's it for now, guys. I will catch you guys hopefully tomorrow morning, if not tomorrow at lunch, and if not Wednesday morning or Thursday morning, and if not then Thursday night when we're back here again. If not, maybe Friday at lunch when we're back here, or Friday morning, or maybe I'll see you on my Discord channel link down below. Anyway, I appreciate you guys being here. I will see you hopefully sooner than later. Bye.